Welcome back to another exciting video. Let's talk about doing something a little bit different today. We're going to look at making an analysis, but really focusing on the farming industry a little bit, just to show some of our Excel proudness in that industry. So let's take a look at a spreadsheet we put together here. We spent some time going around searching the internet, and let's see if it's even up there. No, I lost it. But basically I was looking at corn hybrids and everything, and what we did was we took some analysis, because I know they're using a big, right now what we're doing is we're taking a look, and what they're doing is they're using a lot of corn. Well, obviously sweet corn for eating and consumption and different things like that, and different things you can do. You just Google search it. But also farmers are turning to fuel corn, because there's been a real fuel shortage, and we're trying to put ethanol in our fuels to make up for the gas shortage and things like that. We don't have to import as much fuel. So the idea of using fuel corn, well, it depends. Not all corn is ideal for fuel. It turns out that there's certain hybrids of corn that are really good for it. There's some companies that specialize just in hybrid corn. So you're probably not going to want to eat that corn. You probably want to turn that corn into ethanol and other kind of fuel-based products. So we're going to take a look at that. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of crunching here. First, take a look at this sample data for a farm that had some years in here. Let's crunch it out. Let's see how many years that they're doing it. So I use the count function, equal count. And let's just take the shortcut here and click on column E and then close parenthesis. Well, that was pretty cool, good. So it counts 30 years of data. What's the average yield? Equal average. Open parenthesis. Take that. That was pretty good. Minimum yield equal min. Let's take that and get the minimum. Let's repeat it for maximum yield equals max. These are like single cell organisms here. Basically you have one formula where there's sum, max, min. They're all basically the same. You put the range in the middle and then you compute them. Median. Close paren. And then standard deviation equals STD. That's grand standard STD dot P. Put the E in there. We should just do the number from the population. Boom, we have standard deviation. Let's take these and let's go ahead and make them comma 3, because for consistency, it doesn't really make sense on years. We can take that back to just pure year. Maybe if we had 0.5. Yeah, let's just go with 0 there. But let's round some of these. I don't know. I want to put a rounding equation on this. I can either put a separate round equation and round against this, or I can embed these formulas into round. Why don't I just embed these into round and parameterize them? So I'm going to put the round around the top of this average formula. So we just copy this over. This is cheating in a way, because I'm doing this inside copy, and then I'll just delete. And I'm going to type in round. Right? Round what? What is the number? Well, the number for what we just copied is going to be the formula. Paste that in. What do we want to round it to? Let's just say 0 for a second and say OK. And voila, it rounds to 0. Now, let's say we want to put a rounding factor out here. And what we'll do is parameterize it. So we'll just say C6 instead of 0. And that will parameterize the round. So now I got a round. Okay, that was good. It's rounding based on that. And it's kind of dynamic, because if I want to change the rounding factor, I can. To understand the effects of rounding, I can do it, and it's all parameterized, and I can do that. There's a real quick analysis of what we need to do from the history analysis. And let's come over here and take a look at what we can do from a, I'm going to do some Vlookups and just really crank through this and just take a look at this table. So go ahead and create this table if you don't have it already. Key it in. I basically keyed it in that regard. If you have the spreadsheet, you can copy and paste it in. Let's get the sweet corn, the yield, the heights, the maturity days, whether it's fuel compatible or not, and the price per bushel. Of course, I'll claim innocence now, because those people who are close to the farm industry are experts in this. We say there is no way. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but this is just a sample modeling exercise, and the idea is to show you how to build a model for it. Then you can actually put yes, there is a way when I get the right hybrid combinations and fuel combinations, right? Particularly with this time right now, where a lot of farmers are going to be inclined to switch over to fuel-based corn, because gas prices are going up and we're barely keeping them down, so there might be an opportunity to make more money. So just something to think about, and then you can return a higher yield from your farm. It's really just straightforward. Grow a higher value crop. Let's take a look at the yield in this regard. The yield will be whether it's a good, very good, or excellent. Look at these. Some of these are fabricated yields. So let's do some VLOOKUPs. Go equal V lookup, open parenthesis, the one above, which is the corn hybrid one, on row 9, comma, what is my range? See, look, you see the lookup value, table array. So here's my table. Don't take the header in the table, just take the table. So you do the whole table, and it's table 1 in this case, but you could also type in what, E9 through K19, right? But table 1 will be sufficient. Then comma, which field am I looking up here? I am looking up the yield, which is in the third column. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, column 3. Column 3 here. And then, oh, that worked out really well. And what do I want? An exact match? Yeah, I don't want to feed people. I don't do analysis of sweet corn instead of corn. I don't make any mistakes. So I want an exact match. The way you get that is to either choose true approximate match or false exact match. We'll choose false, close parenthesis, hit the checkbox to stay in the cell. I don't want it to drop down. Hit the function builder to come back, and you can see the function builder here. The lookup value is B9. Table is the array is a table, column, and false. Let's go ahead and anchor this by putting a $sign on the 9, because we're going to copy this down in a minute. If you have to anchor the table, let's take a look at that in a minute. Let's say, okay, done. Like this is pretty good. How about if this wasn't a table? How about if it was just a range, and you had to convert it to a range? You can go to table, convert to range. Yes, normal range. Now this table has been converted. What's that do to my formula? Oh, look at that. The formula changed. See? But the good thing is it put the $signs in there. Yes, we know we're in worksheet growth analysis. We don't really need that. That's obvious. Especially when you only have one. It just did that naturally. Now we got the table. If we anchor it, you could highlight it on a Mac. That is Command T. On a Microsoft-based PC, it's F4 or function 4 if you're using parallels or something of that nature. We say OK. Now, I like this, but I just want to copy this stuff down. I think I understand what I want to do. But I'm big into parameters, and I'm going to actually put a hidden parameter column. Hidden here. So what's this? Yield is in column, what is it, 1, 2, 3? 3. Stock height is in column 4. Maturity is column 5. It's maturity twice. And that meant to be maturity twice. Meant to be compatible. Let's skip this one. Actually, why don't we put in type for this one? Oops. Type for this one, because that's what it should be. And type was in what? In column 2, right? And in fuel corn price, in this case, is actually in, well, whether it's fuel compatible or not is in column J, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7 is going to be the price for it. Okay, leave that there. So instead of hard coding this 3, let's go ahead and back it up. And instead of hard coding it, let's just type it in. What is that? C10? Yeah, C10. So now when I copy down, it should just give me everything I need. Let's write justified to make sure everything looks good. Consistent, write justified. I did everything I wanted to do. Able to crunch out this analysis, and it's good, but not really what I wanted on price. Yeah, this is not exactly a fuel corn one. I really want the price. But I only want the price when there's fuel corn. It's kind of going to be one of those special conditions. So I'm going to add a column just to make a notes here so we can see what's going on. So these are all VLOOKUPs, right? So VLOOKUP, we'll copy them down real quick. But this one here is going to be an if statement, really, if with a V, right? If with a VLOOKUP. And so let's go ahead and do that. Now this one, I like to do these sometimes where I've already done all the hard part. I got half the equation. So basically, if this value is n, then just go over here to the table and look at the price, whatever that price might be. And you know, these prices change every day, and you can link prices from Excel into the commodity exchange, and we can actually do that in another video. But let's just show you how quick and easy it is. We can kind of grab this and do it. So I'm just going to actually do a copy to clipboard rather than an Excel copy. Control or Command C, hit the X, and I'm just going to hit delete. Then I'm going to type equal if open parenthesis that equation. I'm going to paste it back in and say if it equals, and you can see the format, oops, if it equals n, well, in that regard, true, right? If it equals n, then what do I want to do? Well, I separated a comma. If it's true, if it's equal to n, I just want to put no price. Can't sell something that's not compatible with fuel. No price. Well, that makes sense. You can see it over here filling it out automatically at the same time that I'm typing it. Then I put a comma. But what happens if it is a price? What do I want to do then? Well, the way I want to handle it, if there is a price, what I want to do is I want to have a separate VLOOKUP. Almost like the same VLOOKUP we're doing here, but it yields back the price. So the difference between the first lookup and the second lookup is one column. So instead of 6, it's 7, which is going to be column D. So let's paste the same thing back from the clipboard in here and change it from C to D. And then it gives you both. And then we close out a parenthesis. Let's see how it goes. It goes no price. Let's pick one that has a price. So equal. Somebody would type in RM80. And voila. It brought back the price. And then I can do it like that and put the price. But if it didn't have a price, you pick one of the ones that didn't have a price, it would be pop over here. Or you typed it in, it would come back with no price because you can't sell corn that's not made for hybrids or it's designated otherwise. Or sometimes it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't have the same quality. The farmers would analyze that and tell you which one we need to do. I think this is a good, quick analysis on how to do some farming analysis on yields, how to do it. Now for these parameter tables, I like to parameterize, but if you want to just hide these when you're done, but nobody really sees them, you just basically take it and you white it out. It's a good trick and it doesn't show up on the thing, but meanwhile you know it's there and I can control all the columns in here if I want to adjust the table or whatever I want to do. Hope this video was helpful and we can always take there. Let me know if you have any questions.